Imagine you're at an airport. You walk up to a border control booth, slide your passport under the glass, and wait. The officer picks it up, glances at the photo, glances at your face, types something, stamps it, slides it back. 30 seconds, maybe 40. And I want you to notice something about those 30 seconds, because something genuinely remarkable just happened. That officer just answered a question that sounds almost embarrassingly simple. Who are you? That's it. That's the whole question. And yet, answering it correctly required at least 3 completely separate things to be true at the same time. First, you made a claim. By handing over that passport, you said, "I am this person." Second, something bound that claim to you. The photograph, the chip, the hologram, the physical document itself. These tied your claim to something real. Third, someone verified it. The officer compared the claim to the binding, checked it against a system, and decided whether to believe you. Claim, binding, verification. That right there is the skeleton of identity. Not a name, not a number, not a badge. Those are just the artifacts. Identity is the process of answering, who or what is this, and how do we actually know? Now let's move that scene into a computer system. You open your laptop, navigate to your bank's website, and type in your username and password. Same question, who are you? Same 3 things need to happen. You claim an identity, that username. Something binds the claim to you, the password that only you supposedly know. The system verifies it. But here is where everything starts to get interesting. In the physical world, identity has a lot of help it takes for granted. Your face is attached to your body. Your passport has holograms and a cryptographic chip that costs more to fake than it's worth. The officer is standing right in front of you, using senses that evolved over millions of years specifically to detect deception. And perhaps most importantly, you are physically present. Your body itself is a form of proof. In a digital system, none of that exists. There is no body, there is no face, there is no physical presence. What flows between your keyboard and a server is just data. A stream of bits that by itself carries absolutely no intrinsic proof of who sent it. Your username isn't connected to your hand. Your password could have been stolen. The device you're typing on could be compromised, and the server on the other end has no way of seeing any of that. All it receives is the claim, that gap. The gap between a claim, arriving at a system, and actually knowing whether that claim is true, is where almost every identity attack in security lives. Impersonation, replay attacks, credential theft, token forgery. They all start in the same place. Someone exploiting the fact that a digital system cannot directly observe reality. It can only receive representations of it. Let me be more precise about what identity actually means, because the word gets used loosely in ways that create real confusion. An identity is not a person. It is not a username. It is not an employee ID. An identity, in the security sense, is a representation, a set of attributes that uniquely distinguishes a subject within a given context. Let's take that apart. A subject is whatever is making the claim. It could be a person, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a server, a microservice, an API, a script running on a pipeline, a device sitting on a factory floor. The vast majority of identity interactions in modern systems aren't human at all. They're machines talking to machines. And every one of them still has to answer the same question: who are you? Identity is rarely one thing. In your passport, it's your name, your date of birth, your nationality, your photograph, your biometrics. In a computer system, it might be a username, a cryptographic certificate, an organizational role, a token, a set of claims embedded in a signed document. The combination of attributes is what makes the identity unique and what makes it strong or weak. And this is the part that most people skip, but it matters enormously. The same person can have completely different identities in different systems. You are one identity in your company's HR system, a different identity in your bank, a different identity in your email provider. These might all represent the same human being sitting at the same desk, but from each system's perspective, they are entirely separate identities that each system has to independently establish, maintain, and eventually revoke. This isn't a technical accident, it's a deliberate design. Systems aren't supposed to share identity blindly. Trust has to be earned or explicitly delegated, and we'll talk a lot more about that when we get to federated identity. But the point right now is this: identity is not a property of a person. It is a representation created by a system for a specific purpose in a specific context. Here is why this matters so much. Identity is the first decision that every security system makes. Before it decides what you're allowed to do, before it decides what data you can see, before it decides whether to let you in at all, it has to answer the identity question. And if that answer is wrong, every single decision downstream from it is built on a lie. Think about access control. Your organization has rules. This person can access payroll data, that person cannot. Those rules are written in terms of identities. If the system is talking to someone pretending to be you, the rules work perfectly for the attacker. The logic is flawless. The foundation is rotten. Or think about audit logs. After a breach, the first thing investigators want to know is who accessed what and when. The log faithfully recorded every action. But if identity was compromised, the log is telling you a story about someone who never existed. This is why every major category of security, authentication, authorization, access control, privilege management, zero trust, is really just a different way of asking the same underlying question with increasing precision and rigor. Are we actually certain about who we're talking to? Once you see identity as a representation that has to be established, bound to a subject, and maintained over time, the failure modes become almost obvious. What if the representation doesn't match the subject it claims to represent? That's impersonation. What if the representation was genuine at some point in the past, but you replay it now in a different context? That's a replay attack. What if the system is confused about which identity it's actually dealing with because two representations overlap? That's identity confusion. What if the binding was weakened, forced from a strong form down to a weaker one? That's a downgrade attack. What if the representation was valid once, but the subject has changed, they left the organization, their role shifted, their access was never revoked? That's stale identity. These aren't abstract threat categories invented in a textbook. Every one of them has been the root cause of real, damaging breaches in real organizations. And every one of them will get its own video in this series. To wrap up, identity is a representation of a subject, built from attributes, established through binding and verification, meaningful only within a specific context, and it is the foundation that every security decision is built on. See you in next one.